I'm the Beauty Professor, and you can find my beauty blog at beautyprofessor.net. I hope your January is going well. I, for one, cannot believe we are nearly halfway through this month. I'm very excited to share with you a video that, in this case, is expressly focused on what is in my makeup bag. A few of you asked me where Jethro was in my last video because I do love for him to make appearances, and so I wanted to make sure to include him in this video, if only for a minute. I've woken this little guy up from one of his many naps in the day. Huh, you. So Jethro says hello and thank you for wanting to see him. Before we get into the specific contents of my makeup bag, I wanted to discuss one product that I've been working with lately that wouldn't fit in a makeup bag, but definitely has been a part of my daily routine, and that's the Edward Bess Black Sea Hair Hero. It's a styling cream, and don't let that name mislead you, because for me, I know I like to wash my hair, I condition it, I may use a detangler, and so I wasn't certain how I could integrate a styling cream into my routine. My hair is naturally straight and it's fairly low maintenance. I like to go to bed with it wet. So in this case, I tried it that way. I just washed it, towel dried it, went to bed with it wet, woke up in the morning and it was still damp. I put a couple of pumps of the product, evenly distributed it through my hair and brushed it through, and then blow dried it for maybe like 3 minutes. And I just can't get over how silky and bouncy my hair is. It's been a very long work day and it still looks like freshly washed and styled. So I'm very impressed with this product, and if you've ever seen Edward Bess, you know that this guy knows about hair because he has a luxurious looks. And so I recommend this if you're looking to create a little bit more volume and texture, but also just make your hair really silky and bouncy. It kind of does all of those things in a singular product. On to the makeup bag. I recently procured this Saint Laurent leather makeup bag from Luisa Via Roma, which is an online Italian luxury website retailer, and it's just such a beautiful bag. Definitely a splurge, but one that one might justify strictly because, I don't know about you, even though Luisa Via Roma is located in Italy, I was absolutely astonished by how quickly I received my order. But my makeup bag is always with me, so it's one of those products that you are constantly in contact with, and I think that in a lot of ways for me makes it make more sense. At the top, it is Saint Laurent, so it leaves off the eaves, and I know that that was an update, you know, a couple of years ago, but I love the fact that it still has the YSL on the zipper pull and tassel. So I think it's kind of a nice blend of the new Saint Laurent as well as an homage to their heritage of the fashion house. I've had this special place in my heart for Yves Saint Laurent. I feel kind of like I know him, which in no case is actual reality, but after having read The Beautiful Fall by Alicia Drake, I finished it. I started it in the summer, got busy with work, and finally finished it actually this week. I love long books, and this one details the rise of Yves Saint Laurent as well as Karl Lagerfeld and their kind of rivalry and friendship over an expanse of decades. You just get such an amazing insight into what inspired him and drove him, and so I am excited to kind of own a piece of that vision with my makeup bag. And with regards to the size of this bag, the larger the bag, the more product I want to put into it. So this is more diminutive than some of the bags that I own and use, but it is also large enough, I think, to hold key components as I'm going to show you today. It has a separate compartment for smaller things like maybe a tiny brush, or if you wanted to toss in a hair tie or some safety pins, and then otherwise one large compartment. And of course I'll link to photos directly on my blog that detail this in still life so you can get a better sense of it. It essentially can house an entire face of makeup and allow for touch-ups throughout the day. Starting off, I have my by Terry Light Expert Click Brush in number 5, which I've discussed before. I have swatches of all of the shades in this amazing formula on my blog, but it's just such a great go-to foundation, and due to its container, it's a click brush, it's got a nice cap, it's very portable, and that's why it makes perfect sense to toss in your makeup bag, and you can't say that about all foundation. I have my Natasha Denona Face Glow Cream Shimmer. done a whole dedicated blog post on the Natasha Denona line glowing skin system, and this is one component that I think is just so beautiful on the face. Oh, and I did want to add that every product I'm talking about is also in action on my face right now for this video. This has such a creamy finish, and I find that, you know, on the high points of the face, it just looks very natural. It's hard to overdo this because it is so sheer and gossamer light, but it just captures light beautifully and feels comfortable on the face. It's great for sensitive skin like mine. I've had no adverse reactions. So major hit from the Natasha Denona line. Next in the bag, I have some complexion basics. The first is the Mila Morrissey Triple Action Eye Contour Cream, which I think is packaged in such a genius fashion because it's so great to be portable, and I think this formula lends itself to a portability as well. It comes in a squeeze tube with a cooling slanted metal applicator that feels just very refreshing to the touch, and you can use it along the orbital area to tighten, brighten, combat dark circles, also to reduce puffiness. It handles all of these things masterfully. So I do use a lot of the Mila Morrissey skincare line, as I've discussed, and this is just one of those things that's in my makeup bag. I have one at home, one in my bag. Just love it. Always have a tube of the By Terry Baume de Rose. I like the gloss version. I always have a tube nearby at arm's reach because I use this so often. It is a guaranteed hydration savior for my lips. I wear it at night. I wear it in the morning before I put lipstick on as a kind of a hydrating, prepping primer. And it has the most divine rose scent. It does look slightly pink in the tube, but I assure you it goes on completely clear, so it won't alter the color of any of the lip products you might choose to put on subsequently. And I literally have gone through like 5 tubes of this. So yes, it's a splurge, but definitely a worthy one in my book. Also for complexion is the Clé de Peau Concealer. And of course this is a cult favorite. Gets lots of press and has for many years. I have this one in shade beige, which is my winter color. I use it in my under eye region. If you need to dot it onto a blemish or a dark spot, it works well. It's creamy, it has amazing opacity and coverage, but once it sets, it really doesn't budge and it doesn't look obvious. In terms of cheeks, I have the Chantecaille Compact Soleil in St. Bart's, which is a soft, warm tan. It's not orangey at all. It has a slightly satin finish, but it's certainly not shimmery, which I think makes great sense when you're putting it on in a hurry. And it's just been a bronzer I've been grabbing for lately. I like the kind of streamlined, compact size that it is, so it makes for a great inclusion in my makeup bag. And in terms of just lasting power and a natural finish on the face, this one is absolutely lovely. I have La Prairie Cellular Radiance Cream Blush. In this case, I've been wearing a lot of Plum Glow. I talk about Peach Glow all the time, which is a pinky peach. And Plum Glow could sound very dark, but in my experience, it's more of just a cool toned, plummy pink. And it does look even kind of light on the skin. I'm wearing it right now on the apples of my cheeks. It just gives you a lit from within look, but also a nice flush of color. And so I always have one of these shades tossed in my makeup bag. There's also a new shade that's limited edition coming out called Lotus Glow, and as soon as it has its official release later this month, I'll be able to share official swatches and show you how I like to wear it in my makeup routine as well. Some complexion brushes that I use a lot of are the Surratt Contour Brush and the Jenny Patikin Kitten Paw Brush. The contour brush from the Surratt Beauty line is stunning. It has an angle, so when I'm using it with bronzer, I just apply lightly. It picks up the right amount of product, and then I can use it to lightly contour, even with bronzer, to create more structure and depth on the face. These Surratt brushes are, as I've said in previous videos, just the epitome of luxury, ultra soft, handmade, as lovely as the rest of the Surratt Beauty line, and this one's perennially in my makeup bag. The Jenny Patikin Kitten Paw Brush works great with blush if I wanted to strategically place it in the apples of my cheeks. It also works well in the eye area when I want to distribute highlighter, and this flat paddle style just works really well for controlling the application but without overdoing it. So I always have this in my makeup bag regardless of the shimmer or highlighter I'm using for that week. And I don't know what I would do without it. I like it that much. On to so many different eye products that I love to experiment with all week long, but if I need to just toss a singular product in my bag, it would be the Charlotte Tilbury Luxury Palette in Dolce Vita, which is warm, bronzy, taupey, olive, golden, all the shades that I gravitate towards when I want to just make a quick eye. I'm wearing it right now. I use the burgundy shade across my lid. I accent with the pearly cream. I use the ultra sparkly gold across the top, and then if I feel like adding a little more accent, I can use the khaki. Just a beautiful palette if you like warm shades, great color payoff, crease free, and good lasting power all day long. Plus, as palettes go, it's really thin. Then I have the La Metier de Beauté eyeliner in Tamarack, which is a silky, almost gel-like feel. It is a warm brown, which I think accents the eyeshadow quad that I just really well. I use it right in my waterline and kind of smudge it into my lower lashes for greater impact. And what I love about these liners is they stay in place. There's no migration, there's no smearing. As the day goes on, they just feel waterproof on the eyes. So I have it in a host of colors, but Tamarack, this warm brown, just works all week. To apply my eyeshadow, I've been using a lot of the Surratt Petite or Small Smoky Eye Brush. This is unlike any eye brush I've seen because of this amazing taper. To me, it feels like the tail of a beautiful cat or a fox because it's got this tapered point. What's so utilitarian about it is that I can use the wider side to apply my eyeshadow across my upper lid, and then I can put whatever shade I want on the tip and bring that through my lower lash line, and also use it to get more precise control as I blend. So it's such a fun tool to work with. Brows, I don't know if you could have a more complete brow in a smaller package than the new Giorgio Armani High Precision Brow Pencil. This is in the shade Wood, which is an ash deep brown. There is no red whatsoever, and I love that. I think that's hard to find because my brows have no red, and I just feel like a lot of the darker browns for brow product pull red. So this one doesn't. It's got a very precise point, so you can almost mimic the thinness of one's hair, and you can use it to fill in any uneven patches in the brows, but also just shape and define. On the other side, if you can believe it, it has a tiny, tiny little comb that will allow for additional grooming. So even though this is ultra thin, it's so useful, and it's been in my makeup bag a lot lately. Finally, for lips, I have 3 products that I've included. One is the Edward Best Defining Lip Liner in Barely, which is a quintessential peachy pink nude. And I'll be doing a close-up of this soon on the blog, but I love the fact that it doesn't need sharpening, it's retractable, and it is creamy and opaque. It's a little bit more pigmented than the Christian Louboutin Nats, which I grab for a lot. And so I like to wear it with my lighter shades just to give my lips more depth and definition. This is one of his newer releases, and I couldn't be more pleased with it. I love the transformative, cool baby pink of the Surratt Prismatique lips in Cultive, which looks blue in the tube, but once applied, it settles down onto your lips and takes on kind of a violet pink. It's light but pigmented, and it just makes the most beautiful pink base on your lips. So I'm wearing that right now over the liner, and I would buy Cultive for everyone I know if I could. It's just such a unique color, and the fact that it changes color on your lips but doesn't turn hot pink, I think is remarkable, because so many color adapting formulas do, and this one doesn't. It's brilliant. As a topper for this pinky peach lip, I am using the Makeup Forever Artist Plexi Gloss Lip Gloss in 101, which is nude beige. This is so pigmented, and I know I've discussed it before, but I've been grabbing for it constantly. And for a pared down makeup bag, this makes perfect sense. It is beautiful over existing lip color. It looks great with just lip liner, or if you need a slick of barely there color, it works on its own. This is a stickier gloss, but I think it lends to its longevity, and I'm very pleased with this particular shade. So because I'm talking about essentials in my makeup bag, and all the products I've just discussed fit neatly in this bag effortlessly. But there are a couple products that I just kind of toss into my handbag as well, and I think they need to be mentioned quickly. One is the Arcona Eye Dew. I've had some questions from subscribers and readers recently asking me how I keep my under eye region kind of dewy and moist looking without being overly shimmery. And this is one of those products. It is a creamy kind of iridescent gel. I've never seen anything like it. It just has the most amazing tone. It's iridescent. And you just tap one little dot into your eye area region. It hydrates. It's got skincare benefits, but it also adds this dewiness that just looks so ultra natural, like really good skin. And so this is a product that I was introduced to a couple of months ago, and I use it all the time. It's like a little secret that's not a secret anymore. Also use a ton of the Kogan Dough Silky Moist powder. This is in shade 123. I have swatches of all the shades on my blog, but this powder is so great for touch-ups, for setting makeup, for kind of repairing a midday face if you need to, because it doesn't look like anything on the skin, but it does offer coverage and just perfects the pores and fine lines. So a beautiful release from Kogan Dough. I've been using a lot of the Marc Jacobs Velvet Noir mascara. It's great. I have a few coats on right now. It creates amazing volume with this kind of wavy brush, and it also gives length and makes your lashes like jet black. And then also the La Métier des Beautés Moisture Matte Lip Color in Let Indian, which is kind of a deeper medium pink like this. I wear it with lighter shades. I put this underneath and then put a slick of something much lighter consistently in my purse, just as one of those universal shades you can grab for at any moment. And I tossed it. It probably would fit in the makeup bag, but I just leave it in my little lipstick. I don't think I've made my appreciation and affinity for this particular bag a secret in this video. I'm definitely loving it, and I recommend this as a great size and certainly luxury investment if you are seeking a bag that will house your essentials neatly and beautifully, timelessly. It's large enough to hold everything and yet small enough to leave room in your purse for other things. And that, my friends, is what is in my makeup bag. I truly hope you enjoyed this video and found the products that I've selected interesting and inspiring. I would love to know your experience with them, and I welcome your questions and your comments. As always, please do not forget to visit me at my beauty blog, Beauty Professor, which can be found at beautyprofessor.net. Take care.